Britons have erupted in rage at the European Union as the long-running talks over a post-Brexit trade deal with the UK threaten to descend in chaos, with both sides refusing to offer significant compromises on the key issue of fishing. Boris Johnson is becoming increasingly frustrated and has warned Brussels to decide between a no-deal Brexit or accepting Britain as a sovereign country. The Prime Minister's chief Brexit negotiator Lord Frost has told EU counterpart Michel Barnier he will only remain at the negotiating table while the Frenchman is willing to compromise. Last week, Mr. Barnier was ordered by French President Emmanuel Macron to table a series of 11th-hour proposals that left the negotiations close to collapse. A UK source close to the talks said, "There won't be any agreement if the EU doesn't recognise political reality. We'll only keep talking if there is some movement and we think there's any point." Mr. Johnson and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen held talks over the weekend, but they reportedly failed to change the substance of the negotiations between the UK and EU. Both sides remain at loggerheads over post-Brexit fishing rights, with sources in Brussels believing a landing zone is emerging for future access to Britain's coastal waters. But Express readers have reacted furiously to the current negotiating stance from the EU and have told the UK to walk away from the negotiating table and leave the bloc without a trade deal in place. One person said, "Negotiations are in a worse place than they were weeks ago when they stopped. Apparently they only restarted because the EU was changing their position. Their position certainly has changed, to something even more ridiculous and far-fetched. Should walk away now." Another reader wrote, "The EU have constantly used blatant lies and open deceit throughout these faux negotiations. Had the EU had a single ounce of good faith, a valid framework could easily have been agreed 10 months ago. It is now too late for the EU to see sense, so we are now continuing these pointless talks purely to score points in the inevitable forthcoming blame game."